Hello, everyone. Welcome to SEO Unmasked number 58 this week on February 7th, 2019. Glad to have you with us. I'm Garrett Groff.
I'm Vinderoletta.
Steve Brownlee.
Yeah. So what's new?
We have our official date for the charity event.
Yes, that's correct. The second annual 24 Hours of SEO will be on February 28th, starting at 0900. That's 9
CST.
CST.
Yeah, Garrett forgets that, the correct way to time things in America is to pick between one of the coasts and use those times. Times in the middle of the country do not exist.
Well, that's what suits me.
So what is that Eastern time so that everyone else in the rest of the world knows when it actually
9 a.m.
is?
Central is 10 o'clock on the East Coast, or 7 o'clock on California time.
There we go. 7 a.m. California time. Cool.
Yeah.
Yes, try to get some literature out early next week, and we got some speakers lined up. And
yeah, if you work for a SEO agency that actually makes a bit of money and you've got some cool shit to share, it's a $500 donation to the St. Jude's Children's Cancer Research to get one of the premium daytime slots. You can present about anything, including your own products, as long as it's interesting to the SEO community, and you're prepared to donate some cash. So if your company would like to take part, just hit up Garrett on Twitter or myself at SD Brownlee. I'm at Garrett Palado, or Vin, who's at Word Agents, I think.
Vincent at wordagents.com.
Vincent at wordagents.com.
Yep.
And so yeah, if you prefer email, we've got the Vin option for you. So everyone just do email and email Vin.
Yeah. The slots are going to fill up quickly by tomorrow. So we just
we got some early people. I mean, one of the first people back is Nick Eubanks, who I know was a lot of people's favorite last time, not least because of the shenanigans and extra shoe on head related fundraising activities he did during his presentation. So
yeah, we got Thomas from FEI International confirmed.
Pretty cool.
Paul Shapiro, he joined us last year for some technical SEO knowledge bombs. And Greg from Empire Flippers, he's going to be doing a cool little bit for us too. So those guys are confirmed. And
it's actually cool to have those guys on, because I think a lot of people don't think about what they might sell their site for, or what kind of realistic projection they should have. Like, they get their site to 1,000 a month or something, and then they're like, oh, I should sell this for something now, and then they sell it.
The only person that can't hear anything.
I can hear you just fine, Gary.
Yeah, we can hear you. And they make like a $2,000 profit on a year's work or something, when, like, as Vin found out, like a more optimal strategy is to make the site a little bit bigger than that, so that you make, like at least double the effort and hours you put in profit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Greg works for Empire Flippers. I don't know his official position over there, but I think he's going to do something for guys that invest in digital properties as an asset, and he's going to show how you can use various online vendors like Word Agents and Reach Creator to support those investments. So
that's pretty cool.
That's a pretty unique topic, I think.
And obviously, despite going to be being pretty tired and sitting there for the whole 24 hours, myself and Garrett have also bought a slot where we'll be doing some talking. Vin will be back, which I know a lot of people enjoyed last year, especially in the affiliate world. So
I was planning on doing a few more lectures this year than I'm actually going to do, but my big topic was going to be how to hire and manage a team of freelance writers, because that's what I do. So I was going to go through the hiring process, I am going to go through the hiring process and the general management of content orders, which is going to be helpful.
That's pretty cool. We can start phasing you out once we've
yeah. I get so many agencies that reach out to us, and they're on the fence of being doing an in-house team and outsourcing, and I feel like lots of people will get some value out of it. So even if we do that as a service, it doesn't mean that everybody's gonna want to use word agents. So gonna give
No,
away.
I'm only joking anyway. I mean, we released our whole link building guide.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, that's whatever, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's on Builder Society on the crash course, by the way, if anyone wants to check it out.
Yeah, and I've got an update to that crash course about halfway done, and it's on my back burner. And I just got to finish it
I
up.
wasn't invited back to do an update, so
You can do an update. Anybody can do an update. I think your stuff is some of the most viewed stuff on there, on the digital crash course.
Pretty good. I think it's the best thing I've ever written in terms of being useful to anyone.
There you go.
I think our travel guide for Vin will be, the blog post is done. We're just not going to be plugging it just yet because we're waiting for Vin's points to get moved to the hotel so that he can get that booked before we throw it out there to the world. Cause,
yeah, I think they move over on the 15th. So as soon as that happens, I'll book the hotel and we can
post up.
We can reveal.
So, and we're looking at just the flights. So Garrett's I've got a couple of options for Vin. So Garrett's just looking into the US-based credit cards now, see what the best options are, and we'll get Vin applying for another card soon.
And so I got the Hilton Honors card, and I got the $100,000 point bonus.
Wow!
But
what the fuck did you get?
I got like an extra like 6,000 points for the $1,000 that I spent on the card. So so that it helps. I'm just gonna use that card for any travel related purchase going forward, and hopefully get a few free nights out of it every year.
Yeah, it's a pretty good card to spend on because of the 5 times points. Because it's like 2% cashback, but at face value. But you'll often get hotel redemptions another 50% better than that if you like to stay at slightly nicer hotels. So you can be looking at 3.5%, 4% cashback effective, which is pretty cool.
That's another thing I learned after last year. There's absolutely no reason to stay at a nice hotel when you're traveling to conferences. Last year, I definitely splurged on a few nicer rooms than I should have. But
yeah, I mean, there's a line because it's, let's say, like you come in for Minnesota Search Summit or whatever it's called, and you only end up sleeping 3 hours a night. Doesn't really matter what bed you're sleeping on.
No, that's what I was about to say. I found that the best move is to stay at the official hotel for the conference, and
that's never the best move. You just stay at whatever hotel, you get the maximum travel rewards and points for.
That too. And usually nobody goes to sleep until the early hours in the morning, and we all wake up at 8:30 for the conference. And so, like Garrett said, you're only in bed for a couple hours the entire time you're there. There's no reason to waste your money on a fancy.
I'm wondering if I should even get a hotel for the last night because I have an early morning flight. So whether I should just straight to the airport at 3 a.m. and wait outside.
For which conference is that? For Minnesota?
Minnesota,
yeah. We went out the last night, right? That was the night we partied. So you probably want a bed to crash in, even if it's for just like a couple hours.
A couple of hours, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm only joking. I'll have it.
So you guys got an update for the solar candles?
Yeah. So I haven't talked about it much. I think I said a couple weeks ago I would come up and update. So I guess it's probably been over a year since I originally started that, huh? And I haven't been very good at doing anything with it.
Are we off Shopify yet?
Still on Shopify.
That's how much progress we're making.
Other sites are taking too much time in this. So what's happened basically is, as of right now, at this minute, Ahrefs says we have 60 referring domains. I would assume that we've done 50 of those links over the last 14 months, or is that right? I don't know. I think it's been over a year.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You've been talking about it since we started doing the show. So
have not done much, but what's cool is this. This is just a basic site that I've thrown together in Shopify. Learned quite a bit about Shopify. I still don't necessarily like it, even though I have some Ruby on Rails experience. It's after I finally figure out how everything works, you can go through and edit a bunch of stuff, but there's still a bunch of stuff you can't edit. You can't edit sitemaps or robot text where, there's stuff that I would like my hands on that Shopify will not give you access to. kind of sucks, in my opinion. There are nice things though. If you don't have experience or that shit doesn't matter to you, $29 a month is a pretty cheap thing to be, self-hosted, and everything is updated and good to go, and they handle your payments for you. Obviously, you're paying a percentage on your payments, but I can see it being good for a lot of people. But all we've really done with the site is we did a couple link baits. Actually, I think it's more like 3. And we just built links to them. And what happened is, 14 months later or whatever, it's been a year and a half, 18 months. Ahrefs says right now we're stuck for 462 keywords in the United States, which is our target market. Isn't a lot of keywords, isn't a lot of exposure. But in those 50 or so links, whatever we've actually built, I didn't check, over 18 months, we are ranking for informative content like are soy candles safe? Are soy candles toxic? What are candles made of? I'm number 5 for that with no real on-page optimization, like really nothing. There's nothing going on the site that's been done right.
I feel like this is the worst update we've ever done.
Well, my point
is how bad I am at.
The point is, I'm ranking for somewhat competitive stuff. What are candles made of? Like, this obviously is not buyer intent traffic. However, by the time we actually get around to doing something proper with this site, we have a baseline of informative content that is like the fortress, and then it's going to be so much easier to build links to money pages, and we're already going to have some baseline authority. And let's be honest, a year from now, we'll probably still be talking about this. We'll have another 50 links, and I'm going to have a domain with 100 links to it, all around informative content that, again, is not buyer intent. But, you can see that it's interesting to be able to rank, 40, 50 links in some competitive candle type stuff.
Suppose we could throw a Facebook retargeting pixel on there and run some ads with some kind of sale discount or something.
Yeah, and it's ranking for stuff just like soy candle is on the second page. I'm not even that far off from ranking for money terms for pretty much no effort other than we've probably spent $500 on Shopify in the last year and a half. But, so again, like they said, not much of a good update, but building good links. If you're building 10 links a month, 10 good links, like the links that we build,
or 4, like we've been doing,
you'd have 180 links to your domain. You'd be pretty miles ahead because all your informative content should be ranking most likely, and you can start, interlinking and stuff to your money pages or whatever the hell you're up to.
Right.
And you could have achieved these results a lot faster than I have, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just happy it's ranking for stuff, informative stuff like we do with our skincare site. That's our whole fortress. Is we've invested very heavily in actual informative content.
Yeah, but that's all going to make money because
yes,
they're all actually aimed at things that people sell to solve the problems. So
yeah,
that seems. I'm a lot more pleased with how that's going.
Yeah,
the skincare site's making money now, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. We're kind of lagging quite a lot behind how much Ahrefs thinks our traffic's worth, though. We're like lagging 6 months behind, so we need to kind of close the lag a little bit. But I guess if we always follow the lag 6 months behind, then
you're right on target.
Right on target. We'll just always be 6 months late, which is pretty survivable once it's a proper number, but it's pretty annoying when. But we haven't spent enough time messing around with monetization. Like we only just started having opt-ins and stuff like that just last week, so we've been pretty.
Yeah. Now this site looks really good. I haven't checked it out in a little bit. Yeah, this looks awesome.
Yeah, I don't think I've touched it since Vin wrote some of the content for the site. He redid the homepage for us, and then he wrote, what was it?
I don't know at this point. Oh, I've got your reviews. I'll send them to you after the show.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's where we're at. Hopefully one of these days.
Cool, man. Yeah, so I think I told you guys, but my partner in my main affiliate site, he got his MBA a few years ago, and he stayed close with the professor. And so what's happened is the professor invited him to be on a panel of judges to judge the final projects for all the MBAs that the professor manages. And as part of that, my partner can assign the MBA classes a small project. So without getting into too much detail, we're having them create content for us. So we're getting probably about 100 to 200 articles every 6 months for free, written by his MBA students. So
Sounds good.
yeah, that's where, it's going to depend on the quality of how it turns out. But even if we, are able to post 10% of it, it's going to be a big help to us.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to that. But other than that, just chipping away at links and content and slowly making improvements every month. We've been doing about 50% increases in traffic month over month for the past 6 months now. So
Nice.
that's not big when you're going from like 10 visits to 20 visits, so, or 15 visits a month. But it's gonna, yeah, as long as that trend keeps on going, we'll be in good shape.
I don't believe him. It's all diamond Rolexes over there.
Yeah. I got my collection of vintage watches over here. Cool. So I think that's it. You want to jump into the news here?
Yeah, first up, John Wright has been on the show probably a few months ago now, maybe longer. He's pretty heavy in iGaming and online gambling affiliate stuff. Pretty big guy in there. He has a new magazine out called Commission Magazine. Just saw he uploaded it today. I just had time to skim through it, but pretty cool. Features some people I've heard of. Dan Ray's in there. He's a good guy. He does training for white hat link building. Pretty solid stuff throughout. If you're into gambling affiliate, definitely I would recommend taking a look. These are a lot of the big players in the industry giving out some tips, so pretty cool.
Is this more just affiliate general or SEO focused?
It's affiliate general. I would say they're also talking about I guess the whole theme is gambling or gaming, whatever you want to call it. But they talk about stuff like incorporating cryptocurrencies into your platform, or Dan has a section in there about link building, different facets of the affiliate world for gambling.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Affiliate Summit magazine, but just it looks like it's a lot better content, like a lot more valuable content.
Yeah. I think over the weekend I'm gonna read through it properly, and when I was skimming through it, look kind of a refreshing read, I guess I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. I take a look at that.
Yeah. Next up, Mike Blumenthal, that was on the 24 Hours of SEO last year, had a new post out end of January. How Google helped foster the fake review economy and benefits from it.
I don't think he really made a case to show that it was purposeful, but he did make the case that they know about it and they don't really care.
Yeah. I think that's true with a lot of things that we learn about in the SERPs. Like it kind of benefits them a little bit if the ads look better than some of the NAF stuff below the ads. So as long as their data is showing that it's not driving users to other things,
right,
their caring is going to be reduced slightly.
Yeah, but it's a good read. I'll share it in. Oh, by the way, you can share links in YouTube chat again without it breaking the links. So.
Oh, nice.
So I'm just
If
showing
only
that
fix it.
in the chat because I think a lot of people forget that the links are in the show notes.
I just noticed that. Remember how that SEO expert Brad guy showed up last year out of nowhere? He's commented. I maybe don't, but I tried to do my part by ranking #1 for buy fake reviews. Kind of my CTR is appropriate, but the bounce rate is high.
Bradley Shaw.
Like last year, I don't know, year and a half ago, he just came out of nowhere. He bought a fuck ton of links.
Yeah, I didn't really know. I didn't really know how deep the fake review problem is online until I saw one of our clients game Amazon reviews, the verified Amazon reviews, and I was privy to his system for gaming those reviews. And not many people know this, but Google and Amazon and big platforms like that, they hire third-party companies to manage their review sections and to basically sniff out fake ones. And as far as I could tell, his system was skirting the third-party review company, and they couldn't even tell that it was fake. But he was dropping a good number of fake reviews on Amazon every month. There's big money to be had in Black Hat. Nobody ever argued that.
Yeah, and some of the less mature search engines like Amazon are easier to game than Google if you are a Black Hat.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with what Mike says here. I think it's more of a problem for local SEO agencies, not guys like us. But it's a problem nonetheless. Bye, Garrett. See you later, bud. Did you add this Internet Blacklist article?
Yeah, I just wanted to have a moan about things like Cloudflare. Like the internet is supposed to be decentralized, but because everyone uses Cloudflare, everyone in inverted commas, but such a huge footprint. This guy was just doing a perfectly legit thing, checking his gift cards, and he ended up on a Cloudflare blacklist, and now he can't use any site properly from his home IP.
Yeah, any site that uses Cloudflare that identifies his IP is now just sending him to endless captchas to the point where he can't use the internet.
Yeah, and the Cloudflare ones are a real pain in the ass. It's not like super easy. Like, is this a traffic light? Although I like filling that one in wrong. I like to try and just be slightly wrong and see if until Google lets me through, so as to be as unhelpful as possible to their machine learning training they're trying to make us do for free.
Yeah. Yeah, I just watched something from Brittany Muller from Moz, and she was going on and on about all the different ways that Google is using user-generated content to teach their machine learning algorithms. It was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this guy, what does this guy do? He's got to call his ISP and request a different IP.
Oh yeah, he's just, and he said, next time he does it, he'll use a VPN.
A VPN, yeah. Well, that's annoying. That would piss me off to no end.
But if you use a VPN, you'll find Cloudflare doesn't like a lot of VPNs as well, so you can get some
annoying.
You can get some annoyance with VPNs as well, depending on which one you use and stuff.
So Apple pulled one over on Facebook this week, which I actually thought was hilarious when I first read this. So Apple has an internal, what do you call it, like a system that for companies to build in-house apps for their employees to use. And for one reason or another, they revoked Facebook's access all at once. So all of the company's internal apps that their employees use to basically run Facebook all stopped working on the same day. So I don't know if it's an attack from Apple on Facebook or if Facebook once again breached terms of service and pissed Apple off.
Yeah, they were probably spying on their employees or something. Wild speculation on Also, or I mean, Apple is pretty strict. I mean, on developers. So I mean, it could just be some really minor breach. I mean, obviously, I don't want to accuse Facebook of something they didn't do, like some really minor rule breach that caused
This is what it was. They offered their employees $20 a month to install one of these custom apps on their cell phone that would track their internet usage, and that's what broke the terms of service. So because of that, they cut Facebook off from all of the app usage that they created.
So pretty serious violation then.
Yeah. Because
I was wrong to apologize to Facebook as usual.
It's another privacy issue, and they thought because it's their own employees, they don't have to worry about it. But obviously, that's to anybody looking at that objectively, they would say that's fucked up.
You just have to look at Zuckerberg's face to tell what kind of company he's going to be running.
Yeah.
He looks like some kind of satanic man beast.
Did you see that clip of him with it was over the summer? He was smoking meat or something. Did we look at that together on the show? He was trying to be like a normal guy, like an everyday Joe, and he was smoking some meat on one of those egg smokers.
Yeah.
And he just came off as a total robot, not even a human being. I gotta find that.
That was a good one.
I don't think anyone believes he's a human being anymore after his attempt to testify to Congress.
Zuckerberg smoked meats.
I don't want to type that in.
I'm going to share the video in the chat there because it's worth the watch. It's just really awkward.
Is it as awkward as Texas Bacon by Ted Cruz, though?
What is Texas Bacon by Ted Cruz?
Just Google. It was one of his campaign ads. It's pretty ridiculous. He cooks bacon on the end of a machine gun.
Oh yeah. They're both out there in their own unique, crazy ways.
The thing is, though, with Ted Cruz, you kind of think that's maybe with Zuckerberg. He doesn't ever cook any food himself.
Yeah.
With Ted Cruz, I can see him making a bacon sandwich that way.
In Zuckerberg's defense, didn't he stay with his childhood sweetheart?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think he got married to his Asian wife.
The cyborg?
Yeah, she's kind of weird too, but
I have no idea. I don't know.
I don't know what that's got to do with his.
You said that he didn't cook for himself, so I'm assuming his wife cooks for him.
I'm assuming that neither of them cook very much.
Personal chef time.
Yeah. I kind of imagine he lives in a nice house with plenty of staff.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, then, the fuck are you screwing everyone else's lives up for if you're not even going to enjoy the money, you fuck?
Power, buddy. Power. It's all about power. But who did this TechCrunch article? MX blocks curve.
Yeah, so it hasn't had much coverage in the US, but there's loads of fintech startups at the minute in the UK. I mean, I guess the most famous ones in the US are things like TransferWise, financial technology.
Oh.
Fake banks, basically. The rules around non-bank banks, where they don't have to have banking licenses and they don't have to have real money deposits, they can just operate entirely off e-money, are a lot more relaxed in Europe than they are in the US. So there's a lot more room for innovation.
Now this Curve app is basically a third-party version of Apple Pay. Is that?
So it's a card, and you load all your other cards onto the app, and then you just use one card to pay, but you select on your smartphone which one to use.
Okay.
But if you use the wrong one, you can go back in time and change which card eventually gets billed for it later.
That's pretty slick.
So, but what happened with Amex was they decided to. Amex said, we don't really like the way this beta's going. We think we should hold off on launching. They decided to go ahead and launch anyway. So Amex immediately pulled the plug on them. So it's kind of stupid on their part. Their customer service has been pretty rough through the whole thing. I got it just because using Amex abroad kind of sucks for us because we haven't got the fee-free dollar transactions if we've got pound cards and stuff.
Yeah.
And apparently it's impossible if you get an Amex dollar card in the UK, it's impossible to actually send money to it because you're supposed to send it from a US bank account. It's like if I had a US bank account and tax ID, I'd just get an American card with the proper points, wouldn't I?
Yeah. And it looks like Amex gave them a reasonable explanation as to why they wouldn't be included, or they will no longer be included. But then Curve's response is basically saying that Amex has given no good or fair reason for the decision, which is
and then they had
true.
their followers harass Amex on, and it was really funny is all these people like canceling their platinum cards, going, "Screw you, Amex! I'm going to cancel my platinum card." It's like you're just literally punching yourself in the face to like that. There is no competition to American Express in the UK. There's like two other there's probably three or something, but there's two or three other reward credit cards you can have, and they're crap.
Yeah.
Unless you specifically want to fly Virgin and Delta, in which case the Virgin card's pretty good. But like in terms of general business rewards cards, it's Amex or no one. So going around canceling your card because some donkey startup. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of interesting, just the way the fintech stuff's going at the minute. Like TransferWise is amazing. Curve looked amazing, but they made promises they couldn't keep, which is kind of an interesting sector to keep an eye on at the minute. I think there's going to be some huge innovation, and I think there's going to be.
I mean, the premise of that app seems very useful. It just seems like they have to flesh out work out the kinks rather.
Yeah, well, their next play seems to be to try and sue Amex while they burn their VC's money and probably run out before they finish the legal battle. So, I'm a little bit skeptical now. I mean, I cancelled mine because I obviously it's no use to me now, particularly.
Yeah.
But it's a good idea, but just hasn't worked out for them because they didn't have the patience. And I think that's actually a danger of some of the VC model is like, if this was just a bootstrap startup or a sensibly funded startup and they'd launched a really small trial with Amex and they'd been able to take 2 years working out the kinks and getting it so Amex was actually happy with it, maybe this wouldn't have all happened. But under the pressure to have, 1 million users within a year and money, I mean, I don't know how they've got so many staff and so much money being burned that they need to raise all this money. It's insane, but that's the way of venture capital, I guess.
Yeah, or startups in general.
You throw a massive gamble out there, and you either become a unicorn or you go.
Yeah, I don't understand that world at all. Obviously, people are making money hand over fist, but I've always been a bootstrap guy.
Yeah. It's well, the thing is, you've had a really good idea like this, and now you're going to have to, like, if it doesn't work out, you're going to have to find a new job if you're the owner. It's like, well,
yeah, you have an innovative idea and you want to bring it to market faster than potential competition. I could see where getting the funding is necessary, but it's just a different world.
The only sad thing is they did a really beautiful red brushed metal card for the premium card with it, and that would be kind of cool to have because it's a bit different than the.
I would love to use that just for the sole reason of paring down my wallet to one card from however many I have in there right now.
Yeah, well, you'd probably end up carrying two because you want a backup card for.
Yeah.
Nah, you gotta feel cool when you go to the bar and you whip out your wallet and you're like, oh, which one do I need to put this bar purchase on? And you dig through there and you got 8 gold cards, a few platinum, and then everyone thinks you're a douchebag.
I'm pretty sure if you have a £150 gold metal card that isn't even from a bank, people think the same.
Yeah.
But I would have diligently used it in America because of the transaction fees on reward credit cards.
So it looks like Mr. Yost himself has stepped down as CEO, and we have a new CEO over at Yoast. Let me share this here.
Yeah, he's gone, and it's ironic. I think I put this one up, right?
Yeah, it's a very timely piece of news.
Then all of a sudden the shit hits the fan this week with his reputation of being a misogynistic asshole. Weird that they happen to hire a woman. I don't know who she is. I'm sure she's very qualified.
She was the founder of their education section, Yoast Academy.
I don't know. If you look at what happened with Mars, I have a lot of confidence that she'll do a better job than this guy of running it.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, one thing that struck me as odd, or maybe just something I didn't know, is he does marketing and communications for the WordPress company. Like he actually works for WordPress.
Mm.
I didn't know that.
The web
So it
gets
looks like,
thicker and thicker. So there's
yeah.
the
It
WordPress team.
says
very
he's
anonymous.
stepping down to Chief Product Officer of Yoast, and he'll also be leading marketing and communications for WordPress as his second job.
He's very good at marketing and communications, but we'll save that for the don't tweet this later.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that how do you pronounce her name? Mariki? Mariki. Let's hope she does a better job than Juice ever did.
Marique.
Marique, yeah.
Apologies for our atrocious European pronunciations.
All right. Bill Hartzer.
I'm sure she'll do a good job.
Who did the Bill Hartzer tweet here?
Oh yeah, this was a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, we missed the show last week because.
Did you guys cover this last week?
No, we didn't cover it
okay.
because everyone abandoned me, and I didn't think anyone would possibly want to watch me by myself. So, yeah, AMP is just like Google keeps changing AMP and breaking everyone's sites, and people are just like loads of SEO Twitter was just people raging about it and pulling AMP off their client sites. And the general sensible consensus was, other than the obvious things like Google should really test shit before they subject the world to it, is that unless you're a news organization, AMP is becoming too high maintenance and too much of a hassle because they keep changing it. Like imagine you're working with a local client and you've added AMP to their site for some reason, and you don't want to pay, you've got no budget to do anything on their site each month. You're billing them, you only just bill enough to do the work that they want, and you've got to do all this extra maintenance because Google's sticking around. So I think we predicted this a year ago that AMP was going to be a big clusterfuck, and at some point Google's just going to get bored with it as well. Like
I mean, even in today's environment, you still have people championing AMP as like an SEO advantage, and I think that's just like misinformation. Everything that I've ever run into with AMP has been a hassle and a headache, but both from an SEO's perspective and just a user's perspective. It's just annoying.
Yeah, ironically, I've seen a lot of people in the local space. I didn't really read into what they were all doing, but apparently AMP has become a big thing in local in the last few weeks. There's some sort of priority for AMP and local. I have a hard time believing that would stick around. I think it's something that just happened to happen. But
yeah,
I don't know. Everyone seems to hate it, and I don't like it. Everyone I talk to doesn't like it. It doesn't work.
It didn't seem like a good idea to me to cede any control to. The whole point of having your website was that you weren't. Like think about all those local businesses that built their local presence on Facebook, and then Facebook took it all away, and it became pay to play. Like it never seems like a good idea to me to cede complete control over the one thing you can keep freestanding and independent. You ought to, unless like for news organizations where they get seriously hampered if they don't have it. For everyone else, I think it's going to be a waste of your time, especially if they're going to keep making changes. Maybe in like 10 years, if it actually survives and it becomes stable, it'll be super cool. But I'd take a cool decade off and reevaluate if I was you guys. And hope that you're not still SEOs in 10 years.
Yeah. That's
a good tip as well.
All right. The top 100 SEO losers of 2018.
Some of the medic ones were pretty funny, like myprotein.com, 96.2% loss. Parenting.com. Interestingly, HuffPost, but then I guess they've kind of imploded, haven't they? So clickbait news site metro.co.uk lost 3/4. Interestingly, this is money.co.uk lost a lot. They're a fairly good reputation.
Yeah, there's a couple of surprising ones on here. Like
Yelp continues to get pounded, which is not surprising.
Yeah, big news outlets like New York Daily News, Hulu.com lost 86%.
Hulu redirects to YouTube now or something, doesn't it? Or is that
Vivo?
No, that's Vivo. Yeah.
Oh,
I forget all these ones you have over there that we don't have.
so it's kind of like silly to see Vivo included in this because Vivo has always been a part of YouTube. It was just a way to have like an official band page, an official everything official for a band or a singer was on Vivo, and it was always a part of YouTube. So to say that,
oh, he makes a note about that. Like he's included site moves, site mergers. It just because like some of the mergers are interesting. Like in the YouTube case, it's not very interesting, but for some of the other ones, like you merge two sites together and they end up with a third the traffic of the original big site and stuff like that. So he makes the point that you can argue about it, but he's just done it literally. This is where they were and after, regardless of the reason.
who else do we got on here? I can't
Cool. We've got a fan in our chat. Mike Calvin says he's been watching us for a year.
Oh, hey,
first time he's joining us live.
Glad you've been enjoying the show.
You haven't got sick of us yet, huh?
Yeah. I've been hearing that more and more. People are like, "Oh, I've seen what you guys have been doing." It seems like most people catch us, from the recordings, but
yeah. I mean, we have sort of. I think the last show we had a pretty good live viewing, like 15 or so, but generally speaking, we end up with about 70 to 80 views over time, and it's 80% of them are on the recording. So
yeah, I think after this year's 24 hours of SEO, we should be getting some more traction with just regular viewers, just based on the speakers we have. What's that?
We said we were going to start running some ads after the 24 hours.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that if you have a .co.uk domain, you can get a free .uk domain?
Yeah, they want people to move to .uk, I think.
Is that part of Brexit where they're reclaiming?
It's just shorter. Like people don't have .co something as their country domains. Like if you're France, it's just .fr, isn't it? Like so.
Yeah.
I don't know what the history behind .co.uk instead of just .uk was.
I think what it is because they're going to start revoking .eu TLDs from residents in the UK. So I think they're trying to make that switch at the same time, since people are going to be mass buying new UK domains.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting situation.
Yeah.
I mean, I think. Well, it depends on the deal that gets done, I guess. So it's all just wild speculation.
Yeah, at this point with Brexit, I really don't know what the hell's going on because
no one has any.
They're doing it, then they're not doing it, then they're doing it. Then GDPR comes out. It's a whole clusterfuck for us Americans to understand.
I don't know what this search engine round, because I've been sick all week. I haven't caught up on reading the ones that I hadn't put up, so I don't know what's going on with this disavowal.
So John Mueller came out in one of his roundtable chats, and somebody asked a question about disavowing backlinks. And let's see, hang on. Okay, is there any way that looks so to say that we didn't get a manual action, or they didn't get a manual action, blah, blah, blah. Basically, she's asking, even if you don't have a penalty, will disavowing your backlink profile be helpful? And John Mueller said that Google can identify trash links, so you don't really need to do the disavow. But if you do use it and remove all the trash links, your real links will potentially be more powerful for you.
So it is worth doing then, if he's right.
So yeah, so it's you, by not doing it, you're not at any more risk of having a penalty, but by not doing it also, it makes your real links less trustworthy.
I mean, I know one of the huge finance sites in the UK, like their head of SEO sits down every morning with his team and goes through and disavows a bunch of new links every day. I think that's probably a little bit overkill, but I think taking a cheeky look every now and then, disavowing the really mental stuff that you pick up, or idiots.
I know that Jared does it once a month.
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable schedule. Yeah.
But I think this is really telling. It tells you a little bit about how the algorithm is working. So your good links aren't, valuable as a standalone asset anymore. It's also dependent on the rest of the links in your profile. So if you have 10% trash links that you haven't disavowed, that brings down the trustworthiness of the good links, and that's a pretty significant ranking factor, I would say, or indirect ranking factor. So I guess I got to get into the disavow game, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I think once a month or less would be reasonable. I don't think it should become a.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to find nothing to disavow if you look most months. So
we should have somebody on the show do a disavow walkthrough about how to find the trash links, how to keep it updated, because I think that's kind of an enigma for a lot of SEOs.
I did a guest post about that, didn't I, at some point? I don't know, maybe ages ago. I forget now.
Yeah, to show like how all the tools don't always pick up all the links, and how you can use Google to find trash links that the tools haven't picked up. And I think that might be a good one.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
All right, rand of the week.
I feel pretty bad like sharing a positive rand of the week, but this was picked a while ago, so I decided to stick with it and continue being, fair and balanced like Fox News. But no, this is just more of Rand. Kind of he's on a bit of a kick at the minute where he's attacking, Google's attempts to be, in his view, anti-competitive and attacking things that are beneficial to the small guy. So it's a bit like, with AOL having the keyword, and used to, I don't know if you guys remember AOL at all, when it died. But yeah, like they had the keyword, so like one bank would buy it and stuff like that. Like the URL bar is going to show something that Google's going to control, and search results and Chrome and things like that. So just an idea they've got that, but of course people are, and it drives the user behavior that Google would like. Google doesn't want you remembering that American Express's website's americanexpress.com. They want you to just type American Express into Google.
Yeah, so it seems like it's going to be a public-facing moniker that's built on top of the current URL structure.
Yeah, they're not planning on changing anything about the actual internet. They're just changing how things are going to be displayed to the end users across places where Google controls. And I think Rand's right about this kind of thing that he's sharing Google. So we decided to leave it despite the what's this beaches thing? As someone said it, I don't remember anyone saying anything about.
No, I was just going to say, our liberty. I think I used the wrong word here, but liberty shall never perish if we save our beaches, and Google is trying to take away our liberty.
There we go. Yeah, that one was too weird for me. I don't even know how I can say that one. Although I guess we did have the whatever it was baby oil thing a while ago. So thanks Jason for that one.
Oh yeah.
So what do we have?
Oh yeah, this main topic. I just wanted to rag on this guy for being so dumb with like maths. We find the bit which he's got. It just makes no sense.
Oh, so I didn't get to read this one, and I was pissed because I thought this was probably going to be a value bomb. But you're saying that this article is not good?
I think this was the right one. I forget now because I had two for two different shows, and I can't remember if this is the right one or not.
Okay, I'm putting it in.
Maybe this is a good one. I forget now. Sorry, I've not been with it all week, so my memory value is very low.
You have a valid excuse, buddy. We all get sick.
I'm sure he says something really crazy in here.
All right, so he makes some really obvious assumptions about having a blog. The first one he makes is you don't have any content, no one's going to link to you. So that's actually not true. I mean, it certainly does help. That's the way we do it. But it doesn't mean you can't buy links and get tons of links and rank without content. Same way that Yeah.
Oh yeah, I found the bit I was going to rag on. So I'll let Garrett finish, and then I'll.
But it goes into no links will have lower domain authority. Well, dir. Low domain authority. His original premise is wrong. He just doesn't know how to build links without content. It's obviously harder. Doesn't mean it's impossible. It can certainly happen. And then
Is this so? This guy's a fan of what's his name, Chase?
Probably.
So if you scroll down in the article to, but only 1% of content strategies will do this. This is really worrying for someone. I think his job title was Chief Marketing Officer or something. Inability to do basic stats should not be one
Which
of your.
section was this? Sorry.
You look for, but only 1% of content strategies will do this. So I guess just search but only.
Yeah, towards the bottom.
So he says, let's do the maths. So these are clearly overlapping variables. So you can't just multiply them together to get 1%. That makes no sense at all. Wait, what the hell is this? So yeah, I'm glad I wasn't completely wild. I was just like, what the hell? This is someone who's going to be presenting to companies like some analysis of their. So when I got to this point,
where did he get these numbers from to begin with? Because 60% are PR focused. I would say like 5% of campaigns on the internet are PR focused, if that.
Yeah.
I would say like 1%.
I would say 0.0569%. You're like, no.
Yeah.
Man, I've been dealing with a lot of content managers at large companies and corporate companies recently, and they all seem to be coming from like this old school audience building, standpoint, where they just have like mixed signals about how content marketing works and how digital marketing works for a large site like they work for, and what I notice is that they're very resistant to any other input or strategies or opinions. It's just what they say is correct, and that's it. And
I feel like I'm not going to say what I was going to say, actually.
All right. So he talks about assuming that each quarter we publish a hub of content as shown above. This becomes our content calendar, and each round leads to just 5 to 10 links. Within 9 months, we should have high enough domain authority for our sales page to rank for office coffee delivery. So he's just saying if we do 3 to 5 articles a quarter, it's like 1 a month, an anchor piece.
You got to remember, there's got to be a meeting about each one of those articles for 4 hours before they can.
Which they need to charge $25,000.
You know what? I don't argue that his strategy works. I argue that his understanding of why his strategy works. Well,
I think his understanding is demonstrated by the maths.
Yeah.
When someone says, "Let's do the math," and then this is like Alex Jones's math. He finds one time.
I want to know how much he charges for this, because this is like maybe $20,000 in work over a year, and he's probably charging $250,000 for him, which is good for him. But it really makes you wonder the state of this industry.
Yeah. Well, you know what? These bigger companies, they're putting major time into each piece of content. So when you say once, they're posting once a month, they could be putting a week into research, a week into the draft. Then they have a graphic designer making custom graphics, and then they're promoting it too.
We have $20,000 of real work here.
Yeah.
It's like, we can do that.
Yeah,
we do that.
Well, and sometimes they sign up with enterprise agencies just because the enterprise agencies are the only one that will sign their crazy contracts. So they have these I think purchasing is a mess at most enterprise companies, because they have these purchasing departments that are supposed to protect the enterprise from wasting money, and all of their rules guarantee that they have to pay extra for everything they want.
Well, here's
you want to pay 45 days late?
He's implicitly saying here that what he's after is 5 to 10 links, and 5 to 10 links per quarter. So at most, we're talking 40 links a year. and they're going to be charging an absurd amount of money for that. And he's implicitly saying all he cares about is the links here to gain a domain authority to pair with his content that is cheap as well.
Yeah, but it's mission driven, anchored in research, influencer powered, and PR focused.
Great. Fantastic.
I think you're undervaluing it here.
Yeah. Silly me.
But yeah, I think it's just so important to probably not be a chief marketing officer if you don't know how to do maths.
Article for media site. Short series for local association. Contribute to a media column.
Yeah. So this was a bit of a mess. So they don't tweet this. SEO Twitter has been the best it's been for a long time. You all need to follow at Explorionary, EXPLORIONARY on Twitter. And just if you've got TweetDeck or something that puts everything in chronological order instead of Twitter's annoying order for everything, do that. I don't know. Twitter always annoys me directly now, so I always use TweetDeck. Just follow his tweets through, tweets and replies through in order. You will have some fun. The TLDR is that various social justice-oriented leaders of our industry are misogynistic pigs that throw people in swimming pools and other similar shenanigans. So enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's why the Yoast thing was very timely. Apparently, he was very well known for his behaviors in the past or something. So.
Yeah, I don't know what you would call his tweets, sexist or whatnot, but he has been deleting old tweets apparently all week long.
Of him doing cocaine with strippers at SEO conferences a decade ago. But
there was no evidence that wasn't just talcum powder.
Yeah.
Let's not make allegations we can't prove. Leave that to this David chap. Leave him to make all the allegations. Okay. We can just laugh at the lulls.
Forgive me. I wasn't there.
Yeah, we weren't there. We don't know. But a lot of it sounds pretty plausible. They've said that Friday there's more to come, but I feel like it's already a treasure trove of.
I'm getting up early tomorrow.
Yeah, I can't imagine unless they just blew their wad early and decided to go during the actual conference instead of waiting till Friday, because I don't know what more can come really. I mean, there's a video on YouTube of strippers pretending to give blowjobs to overweight conference attendees that really give a good image to our industry and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't know what else is coming if that wasn't the worst of it. But it's a depressing industry we're in, people.
Obviously, that shit shouldn't be happening at all. I think it's just growing pains of the industry coming into being seen as a legitimate entity or industry. Because back in the day, people put these conferences together just to hang out with
Do you think it's really changed?
No, I think there's a long ways to go. But my point
being, I think the industry will be dead before it's fixed. I mean, I've said it before: 90% of people in this industry are incompetent, or incompetent frauds, or I can't remember what the third thing I said when I said this before on the show was, but some mix of incompetent frauds and charlatans. Yeah. You look at all the.
I think digital marketing will exist.
Oh yeah, but
SEO
SEO
might
is
be
a standalone thing, isn't going to be around in 20 years. Not anything like it is now. And the industry it's so hard to respect when you look at the characters that lead the industry. Props to some of these new characters trying to make a stand and remove but like one woman tweeted saying she's shocked now that despite telling what people in the industry that she thought were close friends about what had happened to her supposed close friends continue to retweet, like, and big up in public her abusers, I guess. is the way to word it. And that's kind of the circle that this thread started by David Cohen's exposing.
Yeah.
People that are using their pretense that they're feminists to sell their books and stuff are actually enabling the very things they pretend to be trying to stamp out. Which is kind of stupid, you know. You shouldn't make your personal brand being a feminist if you're a misogynistic pig. I feel like I was saying to Garrett earlier, I feel like our personal branding choice to become like move more into the travel space is and go on about how we like business class and nice hotels is a lot safer for us, because, you know, if someone catches me in an Uber X one time, it's a little bit less dangerous than some of these guys who seem to have thrown actual living people into a swimming pool to embarrass them in public.
Yeah.
Seems like if I get caught on an Uber X one time, it's, you know, it's going to be a pretty low point for my travel career, but it's not going to be quite as damaging as that.
I don't know, man. It's fucked up.
It's embarrassing sometimes to be publicly associated with this industry. I remember there was someone banned from Twitch, like some girl had like gone off on a rant about how the homepage of Twitch was embarrassing when she told people she was like a live streamer, and they would go to Twitch to see what it was and just see all these girls like bending over in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And she said it was embarrassing to tell people she was a live Twitch streamer. I feel like that's why we all say we're like, when people ask us and they don't know what we do, we say we do online advertising or we work in online marketing. And like, you don't say to anyone, oh, I'm an SEO. Like even small business networking groups, because so many SEOs have fucked them over the years. They don't even know how shit the industry actually is. They just know what the donkeys that are wandering around screwing local businesses over are like. You can't even tell random people that barely know anything about it you're an SEO, because they think you're a bunch of shysters. So
I've
I feel the
had
same
to,
as that Twitch girl.
I've had to I'm like kind of just saying goodbye to whatever local SEO clients I have left, just because I can't be spending time doing that. And just finding like a good, reliable replacement that I know will do a good job has been difficult because I've been interviewing, saying, you know, agencies and buddies, and saying, you know, what's your plan for the next 6 to 12 months for this site if I hand this client to you? And it's just, you know, buy this service, add a blog post, and buy some more public services.
That's what local SEO, man.
Local SEO, a lot of people are doing.
Well, that's probably enough. That'll probably be a winning strategy. So you found your
you know,
interview.
We or I guess Ben knows, but we put up a little lead gen site for Minnesota for something an industry I know some stuff about, and I'm glad to see local has not really changed in 5, 6, 7 years.
No.
Haven't even built any links, and it's like #1 map pack for what I want. I'm on the first page for organic without any links and no content on the site other than the 3 service pages. It's like, isn't super difficult stuff, but people get lied to so much and they buy into this shit that you needed. Yeah, it's just amazing.
I got to jump back into the local game a little bit because I'm doing the website for the new restaurant.
Oh,
so there's not too many.
That's one of your interview agencies to take over that for you. Then.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do that one. But there's not too much search volume for restaurants on Long Island, just because geographically Long Island's kind of weird. But I would like to rank for terms like, you know, best restaurant on Long Island or top Japanese restaurant on Long Island. So that'll be another little project that I'm working on. But I'm dreading trying to figure out all the Google My Business shit you have to do these days, and citation work, and it's just another headache.
Well, you can use your friend from the big boy table to sort out the citations for you, can't you?
Who, Adam?
Oh, whoever it was going on.
No. No, I'm not using it.
He's on the big boy table and he welcomed you in, Vin.
Yeah.
So for this rank and run site, I did some citations. Like, I have an old list of like maybe like 300 sites I would stagger out over a year for citations or something. I was surprised how many are non-existent anymore. Wasn't surprised how many have been bought by Yext, or not bought by them, but
They're on
controlled
the
by
Yext
Yext.
platform now, yeah.
I don't think I really ended up doing more than maybe 20, 25 citations, and it wasn't at many of the big ones at all anymore.
The last citation service I used was Adams, Loganix.
Loganix, yeah.
Loganix, or however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
And it was actually a really good service. They do an audit first, and then they show you all of your citations on the web. Then they'll go and they'll fix all those citations, and then if you need it, you can buy even more citations on top of it. And there's certain like citation networks and shit that they can't actually edit. Only you can do it as the site owner. So they send you a little report showing, you know, you have to fix this. Yeah, we can't do it for you, but this is how you do it. So I thought it was definitely worth the money, and I'll definitely use them again for sure.
That's our review. We've actually reviewed something. Well done, Vim.
Yeah. Well, I was going to review to get us off the negative thoughts of a declining industry. I'm going to review Traffic Think Tank Live, because that was 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't here last week. So Traffic Think Tank Live is put on by the guys at From the Future. So Mr. Nick Eubanks, you have Ian Howells from Lending Tree, and you got Matt Barbie from HubSpot. So this was a very small one-day conference, and it was very SEO centric. And I got to say, probably some of the best content and lectures that I've seen at a conference. I mean, we all know we're not buying anything but networking passes for the conferences we're going to this year, just because the lectures are usually shit. But this one was solid. You had Paul Shapiro do something on how you can leverage your APIs for SEO. Who else was really good? Ryan Stewart had a good case study that he didn't finish, so I think he's putting that out in webinar format. Brittany Muller from Moz did machine learning and automation in SEO. And there was another one that I liked a lot. But, TLDR, I'll definitely be going back next year. And it was like $50, so it was totally worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I totally would have gone if it wasn't in the winter in Philadelphia. Like, I feel like that time of year is not a time of year I wish to ever go to Philadelphia again after some previous trips. So,
yeah, Paul's and I think Paul's going to end up doing the same speech for 24 hours. But he just basically showed all the various tools that everybody uses and their APIs, and he showed us how you can basically stack them and create like a little web app to create like your own SEO tool for your personalized uses. So I thought that was really cool, and it got the gears turning. On shit I could build myself. So hopefully he does it again, because it was definitely interesting.
Whatever he does is going to be pretty high level.
Yeah,
his 24 hours last year was pretty intense.
Yeah. This one wasn't as so techy. I think he saves that for his conference, Tech SEO Boost. But it was pretty accessible to somebody who knows nothing about code.
No, that's cool. Well, you don't need to. Like, I guess when he's presenting at something like that, he's presenting to business owners who are going to just pay someone to code it.
Yeah.
Like, he just has to give you the idea, doesn't he? So, like, oh, I could use that for this. Someone build it for me. Although I'm sure some of the guys would code it themselves. So
far, my favorite conferences have been these one day in and out ones. They're just they're really cool. It doesn't drag on and on.
I think you'll enjoy writing SEO. It's going to be
yeah. Well, I'm definitely
serious nervous.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, I got to wrap up. I've had to use data on my phone to tether for this show, and we have dug significantly into it.
All right, sorry, buddy. You got to get on your landlord to fix the internet at the.
I just signed a new contract to have new business internet ran up here, so
there you go.
Working on that.
Alrighty.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Actually, I don't know about next week because it happens to be Valentine's Day, and I have a feeling Vin and I would get shot. I don't know about Steve, but
I'm taking it's our anniversary this weekend, so I'm taking her away for the weekend. So there's a good chance I'll be around, or maybe if you want to do it Wednesday.
Well, maybe you guys can do a show then. I don't know if we're gonna do it.
Yeah, I think we should skip the 21st just because it's the week before the 24 hours. Give ourselves a little break before we have to be on the air for 24 hours talking about SEO.
That works.
Yeah,
so
something out.
Let's try to do something next week.
Yeah, well, Vin, in worst case, Vin and I will just do a little in and out for half an hour, share the news, have a little chat, and then after that, the next proper show will be on the 28th for the 24 hours of SEO.
All right, till next
All day
time.
long.
See you guys later.
See you later.
Later.